Hello and welcome to 3.0 TV. I am Ruchi Sharma.
And I am Vishaka Thakur.
We have got all the major global cryptocurrency news from the past week for you in this show. But before we start, let's cut across to Manoj Thara for the market check.
Despite heightened geopolitical frictions following China's latest tariff hikes on the US goods, the cryptocurrency market has displayed remarkable resilience. Bitcoin in particular has defied broad economic concerns, holding above the $81,000 mark after recovering nearly 10% since April 9th, when President Trump announced a 90-day pause on tariff excluding those on China. And this move provided temporary relief on the global markets, but the crypto investors appear largely unfazed by the renewed trade war narrative which is ongoing between the China has levied something on US and then the retaliatory, and that is going on since a long time. And currently the crypto market cap hovers near $2.5 trillion, underscoring continued investor confidence even in the face of mounting macroeconomic uncertainty. And Bitcoin remains in the range bound over the past 24 hours, currently at $82,000 mark, which is a 0.7% uptick.
Thanks, Manoj. Well, in another important update, the US Senate has officially confirmed Paul Atkins as the new SEC chair. So this is after his nomination was cleared in a 52-44 Senate vote on Wednesday, April 9.
Atkins is set to replace Mark Ueda, who has been serving as the acting SEC chair since January 20th following the resignation of Gary Gensler.
Right, and Atkins is expected to adopt a more favorable stance on crypto regulation in line with the Trump administration's efforts to lower regulatory hurdles and strengthen the domestic digital asset industry.
In a testimony before the Senate Banking Committee last month, the 66-year-old named the creation of a digital asset regulatory framework as a top priority.
And also, he criticized the existing lack of clear guidelines, arguing it causes confusion and also suppresses innovation.
Moving on, US President Donald Trump has signed a joint congressional resolution overturning a Biden administration-era rule that would have required decentralized finance protocols to report transactions to the Internal Revenue Service.
Now, set to take effect in 2027, the so-called IRS DeFi broker rule would have expanded the tax authorities' existing reporting requirements to include DeFi platforms, requiring them to disclose gross proceeds from crypto sales, including information regarding taxpayers involved in transactions.
Trump formally killed the measure by signing off the resolution on April 10th, marking the first time a crypto bill has ever been signed into law, Representative Mike Carey, who backed the bill, said in a statement.
Moving on, New Hampshire's House and Florida's House Insurance and Banking Committee have respectively advanced bills allowing their states to create Bitcoin reserves.
New Hampshire's House passed its Bitcoin Reserve Bill HB 302 in a 192-179 vote on April 10th, which will now head to the Senate. The state is now the fourth to pass a Bitcoin Reserve Bill, through one chamber joining Arizona, Texas, and Oklahoma.
So if HB 302 clears New Hampshire Senate and Governor Kelly Ayotte signs it into law, it would allow the state's treasurer to use 10% of the state's general fund and other authorized funds to invest in precious metals and certain digital assets.
The bill also sets out how they should be custodied. The bill specifies that only cryptocurrencies with a market capitalization of over $500 billion would be eligible for investment, a criteria that only Bitcoin currently meets.
Correct. And meanwhile, on April 10th, Florida's House Insurance and Banking Committee passed the state's Bitcoin Reserve Bill, HB 487, with a unanimous vote. And the bill has 3 committees to clear before it progresses to Florida's House.
Similar to New Hampshire's bill, HB 487 would also Florida's chief financial officer and the state board of administration to invest up to 10% of certain state funds, including the General Revenue Fund and the Budget Stabilization Fund, into Bitcoin.
Moving on, China and Russia have reportedly begun settling some energy transactions in Bitcoin and other digital assets, said VanEck head of digital assets research Matthew Siegel in a company blog post on April 8.
These are not the only two nations trying to de-dollarize during Donald Trump's trade war. Bolivia has announced plans to import electricity using crypto, and French energy utility EDF is exploring whether it can mine Bitcoin with surplus electricity, he added.
Right. Moving on. Zurich-based digital asset manager 21 Shares has filed with the US SEC for approval to launch a spot Dogecoin ETF. The proposed fund would track the performance of the OG meme coin, Dogecoin.
In its official filing, 21Shares named Coinbase Custody as the proposed custodian for the fund. Specific details such as the ETF ticker, fees, and listing exchange are yet to be disclosed.
Right. Meanwhile, House of Doge, the corporate arm of the Dogecoin Foundation, will also support the trust with marketing, strategy, and related services. This filing follows similar attempts by other crypto asset managers, including Bitwise and Grayscale, to launch spot Dogecoin ETFs.
Moving on, the US Department of Justice has announced that it will no longer pursue criminal cases against crypto exchanges, developers, or users involved in regulatory violations.
And this follows the disbanding of the National Cryptocurrency Enforcement Team, that is NCET, a specialized unit that focused on crypto-related criminal activities.
Instead, the agency will now focus its efforts on prosecuting individuals who victimize digital asset investors or use cryptocurrency for criminal activities like terrorism, human trafficking, drug trafficking, and financial frauds.
Moving on, at the Paris Blockchain Week 2025, Cardano's founder Charles Hoskinson captured the attention of the audience after mentioning plans for an upcoming midnight airdrop that would be targeting 37 million users across 8 major blockchain networks.
This includes networks like Bitcoin, Ethereum, Cardano, XRP, Solana, Binance Smart Chain, Avalanche, and Polygon. Midnight is Cardano's new privacy-focused sidechain.
And it allows users to interact with it using their tokens from different blockchains without having to convert their assets. And this feature is called chain abstraction, which simply means you can use your tokens, whether it's ADA, ETH, or XRP, on Midnight without changing them.
The Midnight airdrop, named the Glacier Drop, will give out 2 types of tokens: Night, which is the main governance token, and Dust, which will be used for private transactions.
Right. Moving on, the SEC's Crypto Task Force will host a roundtable titled Between a Block and a Hard Place, tailoring regulation for crypto trading on April 11 at the regulator's headquarters in Washington, D.C.
Yes, and opening remarks will be from Acting Chairman Mark Ueda, Commissioner Caroline Crenshaw, and Commissioner Pierce.
The main roundtable discussion is moderated by Nicholas Losordo, a partner at Goodwin Procter, and features diverse panelists including representatives from traditional finance, crypto companies such as Coinbase, industry associations, and academic institutions.
The series of roundtable discussions were announced in March and include Know Your Custodian, key considerations for crypto custody on April 25th, tokenization, moving assets on-chain where TradeFi and DeFi meet on May 12th, and DeFi and the American Spirit on June 6th. They are open to the public both in person via registration and via live webcast.
So that's all in this episode of Weekly Wrap. This is me, Vishakha Thakur, signing off.
And this is me, Ruchi Sharma, signing off. Do like, share, and subscribe to 3.TV. And for more information and stories, log on to our website www.3voice.io or scan the QR code, and have a great weekend.